Ah! Hey guys, welcome back. We are streaming the Stanley Parables. Stanley Parable Part 2. Now let me just make sure I'm streaming. I just want to ensure that I am streaming. Am I? Hold on, let me close YouTube out. This is going to take a second. Give me a second. Am I streaming? Yes, I am. Is everything working? Am I streaming? Yes, I am. Is it... Okay. Everything working? We're ready to do this. We're all in. It says, hang on. Now, I wasn't going to start streaming until we got to the menu. But when I opened this game, this message popped up. Hang on. So let's continue. Let's see what's going on here. Before we get started, can I just say something? Thank you for actually setting the clock both times you booted up the game. A lot of people don't take that step seriously. They just leave the clock set at 12 and call it a day. But you're actually taking the time to set the clock, and I appreciate that. That's how I know that you care about this experience. You're paying attention. I don't even have any way of knowing if the times you're setting are correct. Tell you what, I'll make you a deal. Since you've been so cooperative, next time you boot up the game and see this screen, just set the clock to your favorite time. Go ahead, pick whichever time you want. Even if it's not the correct time, you've earned it. Alright, I'll let you get back to the video game now. Thank you. Let's get in this. We're not even going to take a second longer to wait.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked...
We've already watched this. And we're back where we were.
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
I don't know about this. I don't know about this, y'all. I don't know. I'm scared.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special, and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap PlayStation port? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Smile because it happened. $1! Gimme! Money! I'm sorry. Go outside, don't play for 5 years. What? Unachievable. It is impossible to get this achievement. Is it actually the 5 years thing? Do I actually got to do that to get that trophy? That's insane. Maybe I just set the time different?
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism. 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was.
I think they're showing off.
It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim. It was Persona 3. It was all of them. And now, It's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Cool. We can't go in there. Okay.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games, and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the PlayStation. Boom, done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling with a beloved franchise.
That's crazy. They're sucking their own cock right now. It's like, oh.
These were simpler times, Stanley.
Oh, this game.
But I wouldn't give to go back to have it all over again.
Can I leave now? Can I leave? Oh, okay. Here we go.
Wait,
Here we go.
hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no, oh God, no, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Woohoo!
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Funny? I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that
Don't feel bad. Nobody looks at bad reviews. Just listen to new gen games. They don't listen to bad reviews. They don't listen at all. Okay, that's a good one. That's a bad one. Not recommended.
Okay, let's see what this one says. Well, the idea for the game is good. For someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy,
You are.
You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it...
In the first episode, I already got sick of the narrators yapping. I can relate to this.
What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure.
Alright, let's keep going, y'all. Let's keep going.
Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Chat. You know you can type comments in the stream, and I'll read them aloud. If you want to tell me how your day was, go ahead. If you want to ask me how my day was, go ahead. We can all have a discussion and talk about this game or like any other game, if y'all want. If y'all want to add me on Fortnite, that'd be cool on PlayStation. Let's go this way.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button.
Ha, lol.
A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Skip these nuts.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games.
Can I
Of
skip
course,
this part?
I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound... Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was...
Oh my
well,
gosh.
I want to say maybe 30, 40... Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks.
What happened?
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about it.
Narrator? Is he gone? Did he die? What's that? What's that beeping? Hello, narrator, narrator. Hello, hello, hello. I don't know what that beeping is. I don't know. We're gonna press the skip again.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, "End."
I hope the narrator, whoever's doing the narrator, probably had gotten paid a lot of money for this. Because they just keep going on and on. What? What? What?
Is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end.
Skip. This is my favorite part. This is my favorite part of the game. There's just silence and there's nothing. And then we gotta wait for the button to go again. Skip. Whoa! What happened? What happened? I guess we'll skip again, huh? There's light. Light! We're gonna be out of here soon, y'all. We're gonna be out of here soon. Keep pressing the skip button. Boop. Is it like a time thing? Am I skipping through time right now? There's no way out of this. So I may as well keep pressing the button, right? Whoa. That sounds like Siren Head. What the hell? I'm starting to get freaked out a little bit. Oh, oh no. Oh wait, can we get out? Oh, oh geez. Well, time to go press the button. Oh, we can't. Okay. We're wandering the desert. Time to wander. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here, but let's see. See if we can get a... We can't get on this. Okay. Oh, what happened? We're back in the office.
All of his co-workers were
Ah!
gone. What could it mean?
Welcome back,
Stanley
narrator.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
You were missed. You were missed. New content. We already seen the new content. Let's go back to the old content.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley
I'm already
decided
getting
to go up to
nostalgia.
his boss. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Let's try the elevator again. This part will be skipped in the video, so do avoid copyright because there's elevator music. This stuff. I'm gonna try not to put this in the video because I know they're gonna copyright it. Wait, what? Is narrator scatting? How do we... That's so weird. Does this door open back here? Executive bathroom. Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast, money crisp. Okay. I like money. We all love money. What's on this computer here? I'm just getting more of a definitive look around.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct
Oh, I can't see nothing.
by sheer luck.
Here we go.
Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Let's go. We've been down this route before, but I want to know, like, is there another way?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Woohoo!
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I think there was another option here.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Whoa.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he
What
have the
horrible
strength
secret
to
is
find
this
out?
place hold? I guess we're about to find out.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Crazy.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
All right.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Do I not have a choice? So, wait, 1, 2. We can't go that way. 3. 4 is up there. How do I get up there? Can I jump? I can't get past this thing. Yeah. Five. There are 2 options.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system.
Emergency detonation system?
If this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley?
Geez.
It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is.
It's open now.
More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going.
Okay, let's see.
I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated.
We don't have much time, y'all.
All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free.
2.
Of course, that was merely in this instance
What?
of the story. Sometimes when I tell it,
Wait, the
I simply
narrator's
let you
been the
sit
bad
there
guy
in
this
your
whole
office
time?
forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then
That's
dying
insane.
alone.
Insane.
I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not?
Thank you, thank
These
you.
are precious additional seconds.
Oh my goodness.
time doesn't grow on trees.
Such a nice guy you are.
Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge.
3.
It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully?
Come on.
Another choice.
Come on, give me something, give me something, give me something.
Or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Ah. You gotta be kidding me.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Let's go then. Hopefully it's not the same thing we did before.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra-deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
The Stanley Parable 2? Hold up. Sorry, I was busy texting someone. We're in the Stanley Parable 2.
Yes, you see? Isn't this far superior to a measly port with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Now, to be
I don't know
clear,
about all
I
that.
haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that
walking the
surely
red
the game will
carpet.
sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really. Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
New features. Free trophy. Pull the lever, receive your new trophy. No more steps, it just works. I want a trophy.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test trophy that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the trophy. Yes. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the trophy is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Let's keep trying. Let's see if it'll work. Anything I can press to make it work? Trophy, gimme trophy, gimme trophy. Rah. I like trophies, sorry. I don't know what to do there.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet? Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarked.
Woohoo! Oh. Ah.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely. Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable... Oh, goodness, Stanley, this is fairly awkward. I hate to do this, but before you leave, you really should go to the bucket exhibit. You see, there's a surprise I was going to spring on you later, and it involves the bucket. And I really do hate to break the illusion, but it's important that you go see the bucket, okay?
Where is the bucket?
All right, I'll get out of your hair now.
Ooh, jump circle. Aw. Is this the bucket? No screenshots?
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with? You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy
Lol.
12th birthday, step-niece it is.
What? Why choose the option I didn't choose? That's crazy. Alright, cool.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No. No, I've made my decision, we're moving on.
Hear my name in the game? I want to hear it.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer
want a nice
is
big
that they
button.
want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Jim.
Wrong.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim. Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay,
All right.
we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first. Now, allow yourself to become Jim. Imagine. All right, fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim. Are you happy now? Get out of here. I'm done with this button. Why don't you go humiliate me in front of a different feature that I worked very hard on?
Jim.
See, if you'd only played along, that would have been your name the button says. But instead, I can't even think about it. I'm taking the Jim button away.
Jim.
Aw, no more Jim Button, you narrator, you asshole. Alright, let's go back. I like the Jim Button. I wish I could keep that on me the whole game.
Maybe I'll only let people named Jim play the Stanley Parable too. They. An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Infinite hole. Is that the bucket he was talking about? I like maybe some infinite holes, if you know what I mean.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap fall. You see? Isn't it wonderful?
Whee!
One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue. Great! Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel. Okay, and I guess we're back in the hole now. Did you really need to see it again? I don't know what else there is to say, Stanley. It's an infinite hole. It's exactly what you're doing right now, but forever. There really are so many other fascinating exhibits that I've prepared for you. I really spent quite a lot of time on all this, and I would very much like to show you some more of them.
Is this hole really infinite?
And press that teleport button again, so we can get back to what's really important about... Oh, goodness. Well, this is rather embarrassing, Stanley. I'll be honest with you, I truly did not believe that anyone would actually stay in the hole long enough to hit the bottom. Yes, I know, I told you the hole was infinite, but come on. Who actually wants to fall forever? The hole was plenty deep. It was more than deep enough, in my opinion. Maybe it's you who likes falling too much. Maybe you're the problem.
Maybe I am.
Look, things got a little heated there. I
New
think we
mugs,
both said some things
cigarettes.
we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree
What
to
does that
just
say?
call the whole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Just kidding. Alright.
Oh, for heaven... You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. Normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole. I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do
No,
here. If
we've
you
been
decide
streaming
you've
for
had
38
enough of
minutes.
the
I didn't even
hole,
notice.
You can hit the teleport
I had to
button
clip.
and
I had to
come
clip
join me up
everything I've done.
Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. I really do have so much more. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability.
Every time we go down this hole, it gets smaller and smaller.
Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. The shame of my lie. How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on. Is the teleport button not working? You sure? Well, I mean... I really
Oh,
don't have
this
an
is bad. This is
explanation.
bad. We can't
Still
move.
nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I could do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked
What?
for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley.
Come on.
And you and the
Don't
hole.
leave me.
A wonderful rest of eternity.
Don't leave me here. Don't leave me here. No. Guys, we might be in serious trouble. I don't know what to do. What's that? Oh, it's going back down. Okay, I guess this is what we're doing now. It's like an elevator. Alright. Any button to change your perspective. Wait! This is what Stanley looks like? He looks so plain. Well, this is fun. What? This is definitely a little on the weirder side. Holy crap. What do we do here, guys? Oh, doggies. What? Cartoon. This is getting a little more weird. What are those?
Stanley? Stanley? Stanley! Oh good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back.
Let me out. No, I'm serious. Let me out. Let me out. Let me out. I want out of the hole. What happened?
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
He said he wanted me to check out the bucket. Let's see the
A
bucket.
common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I am happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem of the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind.
There is no
It's
bucket.
true.
Oh.
As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace
Give me
of
the
jarring
reassurance bucket
cognitive
already.
dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the
Pain in the ass. That's the first time I heard the narrator cuss, I think.
to try. Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in
Yes.
fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person.
Whoa, whoa, narrator,
The
whoa!
benefits of
Stop
the bucket
gooning,
seem to
stop
go
gooning.
On and on, don't they? All this and more awaits you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Narrator, stop gooning. You can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. This is my
Does
bucket.
anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
The button that says in it? Oh, I already did that. Wait, is the button there? Is the gym button there? I want to press the gym button again. Nope. Okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. Stanley Parable sure is fun so far. I would say so. What's in here? Oh, it's just a way around. What do we do now? We got the bucket. Settings world champion. You haven't been there yet. Okay. I guess that's locked. Exit. We got the bucket. Let's go to the exit, actually. Time to go. La di da di da. Going up the stairs. Where are we now?
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment.
Let's
I'll
not.
arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready?
No.
Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Can I go down there?
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
Version 2.
Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work?
Boo!
I suppose it could. But it would need a really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2." Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
What? Okay.
This is the story. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
That's funny.
Stanley felt the bucket calling to him, begging him to pick it up. Why was he not doing it?
Wait, where's the bucket at?
Stanley picked up the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room. "No," said the bucket. "Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good," said the bucket. "Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do." Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about
What
this
is
obvious
going
fact.
on?
He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Okay, we don't have a card to swipe for that. Wait a minute. What's this way? I saw that collectible and I want it.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see? There's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point." Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless... What if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Is he really gonna explain what a bucket is?
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket.
I'm gonna answer wrong
Simple
on
enough, right?
purpose.
This should tell us
Let's
everything
see
we'll ever
if
need
we
to
get
know
piss
about
narrator
what
off.
is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket? Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket.
What?
Not an actual bucket. Item 2. Is this a bucket? Correct.
What?
It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket. Item 3. Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a bucket.
Oh my goodness.
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
Oh! Ah!
Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one. Is Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a bucket.
What? That's not a bucket.
Item 6. Is this a bucket? Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
What?
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere. Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something. And therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket? You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay,
No, wait.
Here we go. What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait,
What?
was everything a bucket?
What?
Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And
Yes, you
Stanley,
are.
You're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets.
Yes!
I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
Alright. We're gonna do one last go through and then
All
I'm
of
gonna
his
end
co-workers
stream
were
here.
gone. What could it mean?
Only because I
decided
have
to
other
go
stuff
the
to do.
meeting room.
Apologies,
Perhaps
guys.
he had simply missed a memo.
Perhaps he has simply missed a memo.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
All right, let's jump down to the other platform.
Stanley. Someone you... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful.
Lol.
Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Yippee!
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked. Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
What's the solution?
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here... No, wait. Where are you going?
Suicidal themes.
Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
Peace.
No! Oh, thank God you lived. No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
I guess we'll see.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me? My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
This is dark, though.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. Do you actually want to stay alive? Or are you just teasing me?
What you gonna do, narrator? What you gonna do? Something smells good. Are they cooking? Let them cook. Whee!
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Poor narrator. He sounded actually kind of sad. I'm not gonna lie. Even though he's a bad guy, he sounded kind of sad.
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted.
What?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay, y'all. I wanted to,
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Oh!
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
I didn't mean to do that. I was going after the collectible. We're going to get that collectible.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
In the meeting room? Let's go!
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Excuse me. It would be a reward for finding them. A large room, lots of boxes, stairs, something to do with stairs, fireplace, a private but smelly place for an important person. Trust the completionist instinct. Okay. This game is getting a little more interesting.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Aha.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? Or what about Stanlerines?
What?
Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
What? You're tripping. All the Stanley figurines are gonna go in my bucket.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because
Not
he
this
believed
ending
everyone
again,
had
man.
vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And
I'm
that's when
thinking.
Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations
Kill the
Stanley might
bucket.
experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course...
Oh, I've been noticed that.
Now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me! The bucket!
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Whoa.
Come to me, Stanley! Find me!
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
What?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Uh-oh.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose.
She's gonna find
dressed,
Stanley
picked
with
up
like
her
a bucket.
of comfort and
A
security,
bucket up his
and walked to her
ass.
place of work. But on this
Oh.
particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
What? Okay, that's a little bit of a happier note. A little bit. Alright guys, I'd just like to say thank you for joining me for the Stanley Parable, episode 2. We will be back probably tomorrow for a third installment and stream. And I hope y'all will comment whatever you feel. And I hope we all just have a nice little conversation. That's all I want. That'll make the streaming more enjoyable for me, because I know people pop in and out. I just want you to, like, say anything. But anyways, guys, that's all I have for you. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to watch my streams. Make sure to watch the channel, any videos I make. And I'll see you next time.